Hi, this is Frank with a Frank Opinion. This will be my last video to be posted on Facebook on the subject of Medicare for all, or for finally arriving at a universal healthcare system for the United States. And I've titled this A Citizen's Plea to Bernie Sanders, and I'm going to read it, most of it to you. Dear Senator Sanders, as the new chair of the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, you will have a vast field of issues to deal with. But I suspect you would agree that achieving health care as a right through the enactment and implementation of a universal healthcare system for our country remains goal number one. Its success will greatly reduce our obscene income and wealth gap. It will reduce the corporate stranglehold over our domestic policies. Indeed, universal health care will positively impact every sphere of our society, including educational achievement and labor practices. Most importantly, perhaps, it will advance the humanistic instincts of our better angels. It will necessitate your prioritizing its advancement over the final 2 years of your current term in office. Shred the socialist label. The vast majority of Americans have never accepted the word. The countries you use as examples of what you mean by socialism or democratic socialism are neither. Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Iceland are social democracies that have well-regulated capitalist economies with strong, compassionate social welfare programs. Referred to as employing the Nordic model, these countries year after year are the happiest countries in the world. Once and for all, educate Americans on how the vast majority of countries finance their universal health programs through general tax revenue. Then relentlessly educate Americans about your proposed options for funding Medicare for all, which, like other countries, employs health-related taxes on household income and employer payrolls, producing life-changing savings for the overwhelming majority of American families and individuals, as well as governmental entities and non-governmental organizations. Act proactively to bring together the leaders of the National Medicare for All advocacy organizations, such as National Nurses United, Labor Campaign for Single Payer, Public Citizen, Physicians for a National Health Program, Our Revolution, and others, and forcefully motivate them to work together strategically to educate Americans about the multitude of benefits of instituting a guaranteed health care program for our country and to boldly advocate for its passage. Challenge these organizations to select a leadership structure, perhaps one that rotates the functioning head for a specific term. You have said many times that we can achieve great things when we all come together. There are well over 15 million members in national, state, and local organizations that have formally endorsed Medicare for all. The list is maintained by Public Citizen. Imagine for a moment if each member of these organizations was educated and then charged to inform 10 others in their respective communities about the benefits and feasibility of Medicare for all. Might that not exponentially increase the number of Americans that support Medicare for all? Utilize your office over the next 2 years to invite citizens from other countries, as well as Americans living abroad, to tour our country with you to describe what it is like to benefit from their country's universal healthcare system. Invite the health and finance ministers of these countries to describe how their universal health systems are financed. Invite Richard Master, owner of MCS Industries, who conceived of and funded the Fix It Healthcare campaign and stood with you and spoke in support when you introduced your first Medicare for All bill in 2017. His website has marvelous educational videos on our obscene current system, and he has a new one that he has produced called American Hospitals. Invite Robert Pollin of the Political Economy Research Institute, UMass Amherst, whose researchers analyzed your 2017 Senate bill and concluded that Medicare for All would produce an annual savings of $678 billion, which could be applied to its implementation. Invite UMass economist Dr. Gerald Friedman, who has spent decades on Medicare for All, the researchers at Lancet Yale, the researchers at PLOS UCLA, Wendell Potter, former Health Corporation executive turned avid Medicare for All advocate, and so many others who are all at the ready to help you in making Medicare for All a reality. A small digression. Gerald Friedman came up with a savings of well over $1 trillion, and Lancet Yale came up with a savings of $458 billion. The latter is the one that's used most of the time to identify savings, and that's the one you use yourself, though the Perry study is the one that analyzed and studied your Senate bill. As time goes by, while we allow Medicare for All opponents to rope-a-dope Medicare for All supporters, national health expenditures continue to increase exponentially. The average of the 2017 national health expenditure estimates of the independent studies of Friedman, Perry, and Lancet Yale was $3.5 trillion. The actual 2017 NHE was $3.5 trillion, so they came mighty close. If Medicare for All had been in effect, their average 2017 NHE estimate was $3 trillion, a savings of $500 billion. The CMS NHE estimate for last year, 2022, is $4.5 trillion, an increase of $1 trillion just over the last 5 years. That's almost 29%. As you can see, the studies get stale quickly, which is why I have labeled this the rope-a-dope. Indeed, they are useless without a sincere effort to achieve Medicare for All. The case for enacting and implementing Medicare for All or an equivalent universal health care system for our country is open and shut on all grounds. Senator Sanders, you must have a laser-like focus on preparing us for 2025, which will presumably be the next time we can have a companion Medicare for All bills in both chambers of Congress with a sitting president that will sign the measure into law. Our country's citizens deserve nothing less. Sincerely yours, Frank Puig, citizen of the United States. Thank you so much.